Hey there, and welcome to a brand new episode of Delivering Marketing Joy. I am your host, Kirby Hasseman, and joining me today, a brand new rock star. He's the chief advocate, which I love that title, for Referral Candy. It's an app that allows e-commerce brands to set up and run referral programs. Raul Galera, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And you've been traveling all over, so I appreciate you taking the time. So I do want to dive right in. The referral marketing is something I'm sort of fascinated with. So I know that's sort of your expertise. So I have a bunch of questions lined up. So how has referral marketing, because that's something I've heard about, but how's it evolved over the past decade?
Yeah. So actually, I can actually answer that question from our own company perspective because
Yeah.
it was our 10-year anniversary last year.
Okay.
And so I think, that we've gone through an evolution that I think it relates a lot to the evolution of referral marketing in general.
Okay.
First of all, referral marketing, it's something that we build on top of word of mouth. Word of mouth is something that happens organically, and it's probably the first marketing method that ever existed. Like people recommending things to each other, and so that's been one of the main communication channels that we humans have used from the very beginning. And so it just made sense that marketing has obviously catch up on that and try to find ways that we can increase it. So I think, if we're looking at referral marketing 10 years ago, social media was still kind of new.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I was in college. I got my first Facebook account. So, it was, everything was kind of getting started. And so word of mouth was kind of built on top of that. When we launched the company in 2010, we actually did it as a way to leverage Facebook, to allow merchants to leverage Facebook to get their customers to refer their friends. So that's kind of how things got started. Now, if we fast forward a few years and kind of look at the present of referral marketing, I think it continues to grow under the influence of social media. Mm-hmm. The only difference is that Facebook isn't as relevant as it used to be, at least for some demographics.
Sure.
And so referral marketing they needed to adapt to the rise of new social media channels and also the way that products are being shared, and mostly leading towards video content, especially in the past few years. So something else that has happened in the past few years that has also affected the way that referral marketing and word of mouth works is what we know as influencer marketing, which is when we think of referral marketing, we typically think of somebody referring a friend or a coworker or a family member. But there's another type of referrals that happen in this, what we call kind of like the influencer world, which are people that are famous or are known, or they have like a community of followers for one particular reason. It's because they're experts in one particular area or one particular field. So it's not like they're celebrities promoting products, not like it's an actor or a football player promoting a product. This is somebody that kind of the reputation is on the line by promoting a product. So that's also something that has affected the way that kind of referral marketing has evolved. And lastly, and especially in the past few years, one of the biggest developments that I've seen or innovations that I've seen in terms of referral marketing is brands trying to create a deeper connection with their customers, and ideally creating what we call communities of customers. So if you're selling a product, let's say, we're talking about football. If you're selling football products, all of your customers have something in common, which is that they love football. You can create a community around that of your customers and kind of get them together to discuss ideas or discuss topics that they're familiar with. So kind of creating that deeper connection, that's something that it's really important for brands now to not only to acquire new customers, but also to retain the existing ones.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you mentioned word of mouth, and like I think there are people who hear word of mouth, referral marketing, and sort of think it's word of mouth. Can you talk about the difference between the two?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I would say that the main difference between word of mouth and referral marketing is that, again, word of mouth is something that happens organically. Whenever I'm doing maybe a product demo for a merchant that's thinking about, running a referral program, I typically tell them, look, you are probably already getting referrals. If the thing is that if you don't have a referral program or any sort of referral system in place, it's really hard for you to identify how many sales are coming from referrals, track that and also to incentivize it. So the main difference between the two is what happens organically, what happens because your customers love your product, and they just happen to share about it to their audience. And referral marketing, it's anything that you build on top of that. So referral rewards, or maybe some sort of call to action on your website, or maybe sending an email to your customers to let them know that they can refer a friend. Any of those actions that happen on top of that tend to incentivize word of mouth, which is the bottom line.
It sounds like it takes the things from like a happy accident to being more intentional, right? Like you're trying to create those interactions, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about the last time somebody recommended a restaurant to you, or a product, or or a holiday destination. So that it happens all the time. So like you said, it's like a happy accident. But yeah, the idea is to make sure that happens as often as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So again, in reading up, doing my research on you, I understand that there are 3 key strategies to introduce a successful referral program to customers. Can you talk about those?
Yeah. So I would say that the number one, and it's probably the most important one, is promotion. And it's something that, unfortunately, I see brands kind of overlook in this aspect of the referral program. And I can understand it, because also asking for referrals, and doesn't matter what industry we're on, asking for referrals is a little uncomfortable. You have a customer, you're happy with your client, with the services or the products that you're selling to this client. The client's also happy, and asking for referrals just feels like a little bit too much, right? And so I get it. But the reality is that in a lot of cases, referrals don't happen just because we forget about it. If you run a net promoter score survey on your customers, and you try to figure out how many of them will be willing to refer, if you've been in business for a while and your product or your service is good, you're probably going to get a 9 or a 10, or anything above 8.5 will be great. But the reality is that only a fraction of those customers will actually end up getting those referrals for you. Yeah, exactly. Actually doing it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they don't like your product. Doesn't mean that it's just that life happens. There's a lot of things that we need to do and kind of care about in our daily lives, and we just forget about it. So promoting it's very, very important. If you are, and I'm going to talk from the e-commerce perspective, if you're in e-commerce, make sure that your customers are getting notified either via email or whatever platform you're using to communicate with them. Make sure that you have maybe a call to action on the website, just so they are aware of the referral program. Again, there's never enough promotion that you can do for the program. And actually, you can see a direct translation from the promotion that you do and the results that you get.
Okay, that makes sense.
Something else that you can do is to make it easy to understand for your customers. We typically, when we think about the most famous referral programs, maybe the Uber referral program, I think it was like something like give $10, get $10. It was very easy to understand, and also it's very easy to pitch. Because if I remember what the referral program is about, I can sell it to my friends and family without having to look at my phone or find the email. So making it easy to understand, but also, and this is more like a personal opinion, making it easy to achieve the reward that you're offering. I see a lot of referral programs that you have to jump through different hoops to be able to get a big reward, but the reality is that a lot of your customers might not be able to get there, and they might have referred 3, 4, 5 friends, but they haven't reached the level in which they qualify for that reward. They can get a little frustrated, if they don't get the reward that they're looking for. So yeah, making it easy to understand, and also, in my opinion, it's better to give a small reward but often, rather than giving a big reward, after completing multiple actions.
Makes sense.
And I guess the last thing will be to, since we're talking about rewards, adjust those rewards to your customer behavior. So if your customers are buying from you on a regular basis, an ideal scenario is that you are on a subscription basis. If you're running a referral program, make sure that those rewards, let's say you're offering a discount on the next subscription or the next purchase, either gets applied directly to that automatically to that next renewal, or if they're going to buy from you anytime soon, offer them a discount so they're incentivized to buy from you again. They'll be incentivized not only to refer a friend, but also to buy from you again. So you're acquiring a new customer and you're retaining an existing one. On the other hand, if you're selling a product that your customers are not going to buy anytime soon, maybe offer cash or maybe a gift, something along those lines.
Yeah, dude, that's great. I love that because I agree with you. I think that there are plenty of referral programs that you start to go down the road and you're like, oh man, that feels like a lot of work, and I've got other stuff I need to do, and so I won't do it at all, and that defeats the purpose, right? So, okay, cool, man. This has been great. So, final question for you. Obviously, we've lived through a fascinating time over the last 18 to 24 months. So, how has like COVID affected the way brands are approaching referral marketing?
Yeah. So I would say that referral marketing has typically been seen as a way to attract new customers. And I think and again, I'll talk from the e-commerce perspective. Before COVID, I think the whole e-commerce world had this kind of like idea of growth at all costs, right? Like let's try to grow your business as quickly as you can, and if you have to leverage Facebook or ads or whatever it is, like put your money in there because you really need to acquire new customers on a regular basis. With COVID, a few things happened. So ad costs have been rising over the past few years, even before COVID. But after COVID, we've really seen an increase, and to the point that it's made it actually difficult for startup brands to, get placed in front of the audience that they're actually looking to get in touch with. So ad costs have made it very difficult for some companies to acquire new customers. So they're looking for alternative ways to acquire new customers. Referral marketing. Something really good about referral marketing is that it's pretty much performance based. You're only given rewards, or you're only paying cash, or you're only basically
discounts, whatever.
Exactly, discount, whatever you're given when a purchase takes place. And that's it. It's 100% performance based. And so a lot of brands started to look into this, most cost effective ways to attract new customers. But at the same time, a lot of brands started to realize that it was also really important for them to retain the customer base that they had. They couldn't really forget about the existing customers that they have, and they were trying to figure out what could they do internally to reactivate these customers. So referral marketing also plays very well here because again, as we mentioned earlier, if you have a product that can be sold multiple times, if you offer a discount on a future purchase for every friend that you refer, you're going to have an incentive to go back and buy from that store again. You're not going to even look at the competition because you have an incentive that nobody else can give you. And so, it's just I mean, at least what we've seen internally is that referral marketing has started to be something that brands look at not only for customer acquisition, but also for retention, because that's what affects the bottom line of their business. So
yeah, big time. It's funny. I have not heard always referral marketing is used as a retention tool like you're talking about, and it makes a ton of sense. So I love that. Well, Raul, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Where can they find Referral Candy? Tell them where we can find you.
Yeah, so referralcandy.com. That's where you can find all information about us. If you're on Shopify, you can find us on the Shopify App Store. But otherwise, on our website.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Raul, and enjoy your travels. And we'll have to do this again sometime. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.